Hello, everyone. This is Steve Afasi from Elite Business Insurance. I'm here to talk to you about liability auto insurance, what it is, and how Elite Business Insurance can help save you money and cover you for all lines of insurance, giving you the best coverage for the best price. Now, Elite Business Insurance, we're a full-service independent agency, so we have appointments, direct appointments, and appointments with brokers who have access to hundreds of markets throughout the United States of America, where we take your information and we shop it around in attempts to find you the best coverage for the best price. So if you currently have auto insurance, we could take a look at your policy. We could evaluate it and tell you exactly what you're covered for, depending on what sort of vehicles you have. If you need full coverage on them, or you cover the physical damage, or if you just need the basic liability, we could do that for you. So what auto liability is it's basically in the case that you're in an accident and you're deemed at fault. If you cause bodily injury or property damage to somebody or something, that's what liability insurance is. So liability covers you, protects you from being sued by somebody else that you injure or property that you destroy for being in an accident. So the normal limits for basic auto liability insurance that I see in the state of Florida are that there's two different options. You have split limits, and then you have combined single limit. So what a split limit policy is, which is the standard for personal auto policies usually, is it goes in terms per person and per accident. So if you have 10/20 coverage on an auto policy, you're going to have $10,000 per person, $20,000 per vehicle. So if there's two people in a car that you hit and you injure them, they each have a maximum of up to $10,000 for medical expenses and injury damage that you caused to them. Now, that's for the bodily injury portion of it. So split limits, bodily injury, 10/20, $10,000 per person, $20,000 per accident. Now, as far as property damage covers you for when you're driving. If you strike a stop sign, you strike another vehicle, you strike a building, you strike a bridge, anything that you destroy, even a tree, any property that you destroy where somebody sues you and you have to pay it back, that's what your property damage is. So it usually splits up the limits, whereas bodily injury covers you for the bodily injury damage, 10/20, let's say, and then property damage would be a separate limit. So if you have an auto policy, you have bodily injury coverage of 10/20, and then you have property damage of 10,000. So if you injure somebody in an accident, $10,000 per person, $20,000 per vehicle. Property damage would be $10,000 for any property that you destroy. And as the limits increase, so you go 25, 50 for bodily injury, and you go 25,000 property. It could be 50, 100 for bodily injury, and then 50,000 for property. So you could adjust the limits accordingly to what you need. Of course, the higher the limits, the higher the price. There's also different coverages on the auto policy that cover you for personal injury protection, which covers your own bodily injury in the case that you're in an accident, regardless of who's at fault. That's called PIP, personal injury protection in the state of Florida. Regardless of who's at fault, that's going to be the coverage that pays out your medical bills. And then you have uninsured motorists. In the case that you get into an accident, you get hit by an uninsured motorist, somebody who's not carrying insurance, and they drive off, or they just don't have the insurance sufficient enough to cover your medical bills. So in that case, your uninsured motorist is an additional coverage that you can put on your policy that gives you additional protection, you and the people in your vehicles, that would cover you for your personal bodily injury and the people in your vehicles' personal bodily injuries. So you have the bodily injury coverage, which protects you from injuring somebody else, being at fault. You have property damage coverage, which protects you for damaging somebody's property. You have PIP, personal injury protection, which protects you regardless of who's at fault, up to $10,000 in the state of Florida. And then you have uninsured motorist, which protects you in the case that you get hit by an uninsured or underinsured driver. So that is the basic liability insurance on an auto policy. So I hope this video gave you the information that you were looking for to explain liability. Elite Business Insurance could make sure that we provide you with the best case scenario regarding your liability insurance coverages and get you the best price while doing so. So like I said, we're a full service independent agency and we offer 24/7 customer service. We work our butts off to make sure that you get the best price at all times. We never try to upcharge anybody. We give you as many options as possible and we are always here for you. You give us a call, someone will always be there to answer the phone. We could shop you around through all of our markets and carriers. If you ever have a rate increase, if you ever need to make any changes on your policy, you give us a call. If you ever need to put a claim in on your policy, you give us a call. Let us be your one-stop insurance shop. We'll be here for you always, and we'll always make sure that we work our hardest to provide you with the best coverage for the absolute best price. Give us a call, 1-800-850-8819, Elite Business Insurance. We are elite.